What's up, YouTube? My name is Ty, financial advisor. Welcome to my channel. Please like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. So here is HLBZ, Helbiz. This finishes at $1.61 today. That is up 114.64%. So this stock absolutely came out of nowhere today. Definitely short squeezing here. I guess the squeeze started a few trading sessions ago. This was at the all-time low at 45. Low key squeezed up to 80. Didn't hear anything about the stock. Not much momentum. And then today, it ripped to almost 190. So major price action here, and there was no company-specific news to justify this price action today. A lot of stocks have been squeezing the past week, especially low-float stocks and the meme stocks, so I'm just going to assume that this stock is squeezing in sympathy with all of the other low-float stocks. This was number 3 after AMC and SPY had 6,000 mentions, so today we're going to analyze this. Alright, let's jump right in. Let's go ahead and analyze here. So first of all, this is a cup and handle in the making, bottom of the cup being the low of 45 cents, and there can be multiple possible tops. It can be 185, 215, 285, or even 350. And longer term, this is part of an even bigger cup and handle where this has the potential to go all the way back up to the all-time high of 41.88. Although I do think the most realistic top would be 215 or 285. But those are all bullish indicators that is telling us that the stock should come back up to one of those tops to complete the cup. And here we do have a bull flag forming. No confirmation just yet, but here's the flag pull. So all we would need is some pullback to form the flag, and that would be a bullish indicator that is suggesting that the stock may break out to the upside. And then we have a triple gap down. First gap down is back here at 2260. So that is a bullish indicator that is telling us that the stock should come back up to 2260 to fill this gap. Second gap down is back here at 1910. So that's another bullish indicator that is telling us that the stock should come back up to 1910 to fill this gap. Third gap down is back here at 265, so another bullish indicator that is telling us that the stock should come back up to 265 to fill this gap. And that gap should fill in the short term. The other gaps at 2260 and 1910 should fill, but in the longer term. And in the aftermarket here, this is running up to 170, so if this aftermarket action holds, that would be a bullish indicator for tomorrow. That is suggesting that tomorrow, this stock will run to the upside as well. And we also have a gap up created today at 80 cents. So that would be a bearish indicator that is telling us that the stock should come back down to 80 cents to fill this gap. And that gap should fill in the short term. And if you guys want to follow along, the link to the chart is in the description down below. So right now this is trading between the sideways channel, the rectangle of 165 and 155. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 165, 170, 175, 185, 205, 215, 235, 265, 275, 285, $3, 315, 330, 340, and then 350. There is resistance above 350, but we're not going to discuss that right now. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 155, 150, 145, 140, 130, 125, 120, 115, 110, 105, 98 cents, 88 cents, 83 cents, 76 cents, 73 cents, 66 cents, 62 cents, 57 cents, 52 cents, and then the low of 45 cents. So right now at the current price, 161, the channels to the upside and the downside are pretty decently sized. So expect a regular amount of price action either way this goes. However, if/when this breaks 185 to the upside, the channels start to open up and get wider. So expect a significant increase in price action if/when this breaks 185 to the upside. RSI is currently at 84. So that is pretty deep in overbought and overvalued territory. So be careful, guys. And this did 208 million in volume today, which is the biggest volume day ever for this stock. So very significant volume, way above the average of 1.5 million. So this pump/squeeze today was confirmed by the volume. And it appears like the squeeze is still on. Okay, guys, just my opinion, not financial advice. So yeah, no reason to justify this price action today. Again, it just seems like this is part of the overall low float stock squeeze, and this finally did get the attention of the apes, and that's why it's squeezing so hard today. The stock looks really bullish long term. Again, we have some strong bullish indicators in the cup and handle and triple gap down, but in the short term, this has been mooning for the past week, and it looks like it's due for some pretty significant pullback. Maybe not just yet, because the squeeze is still on, so there may be a bit more upside to go, but sooner or later, this is going to have to come crashing down. So it's pretty much a game of hot potato at this point, guys. Someone's going to get caught holding the bag. Make sure it's not you. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. 161 is a pretty terrible entry. You missed a lot of upside already today and in the past week, and while there is still more upside potential, it's very dangerous at this point. going long here would be straight up FOMO. Again, we have some very bearish indicators in the gap up and RSI. Again, this should eventually come back up to 2260 to fill the gap there. And from the current price of 161, that would be over a 1300% upside potential. So even at this terrible entry of 161, there's still massive upside potential in the long term. And again, this should eventually come back down to 80 cents to fill the gap there. And from the current price of 161, that would be about a 50% downside potential. So I would say going long at the current price 161 would be a high risk, high reward play. Not really worth it, in my opinion. So long term, if you're going to buy and hold, it's not such a bad entry. But if you were to buy in here at 161, you're probably going to get burned. So if you want to go long, please do that at your own risk. And it would definitely have to be for a quick scalp. Get in, get your money, get out, before it crashes and you become a bag holder. If you're a little patient here, you should be able to get this back at 80 cents, where the gap is. And I think that would be a much better entry than the current price of 161. So from 80 cents up to 2260, that would be over a 2700% upside potential. And really shouldn't go too much more to the downside. There's some pretty critical support below 80 cents. It's going to take a lot of selling pressure to break those. And near the all-time low. So I would say going long at 80 cents would be a low risk, very high reward play. Definitely worth a shot, in my opinion. So I don't like the current entry of 161, but I can't support going long at 80 cents. And if it pulls back, then you can just average down at the supports that I mentioned before. Now, if you want to go short now, financial advice, looks like a pretty good play to me. Again, in the short term, this looks like it's due for some very significant pullback. The momentum will have to cool off. The RSI is insane right now. So while this may have a bit more upside to go, because this is still short squeezing, sooner or later, this will have to come crashing down. So don't be afraid to cash it in, guys. Secure the gains. Don't get too greedy. So I think in the short term, at most, this comes back up to 215, maybe 285, but that's pretty unlikely. So from the current price of 161 up to 215, that would be over a 30% upside potential. And again, this should pull back down to 80 cents in the short term to fill the gap there, and that would be a 50% downside potential. So I would say going short here would be a high risk, high reward play. So it is somewhat risky, but as long as you're able to withstand some upside pressure here, this should eventually come back down to 80 cents and fill the gap. So I can't support going short at the current price, 161 and higher. And again, I would cover at 80 cents, and that should be a relatively easy 50% downside gain here. So pretty straightforward, guys. It's been a pretty tough year for this stock. Pulled back all the way from $42 to under $1. But long term, the stock still looks really bullish. And in the short term, this may have a bit more upside to go because this is still squeezing. But eventually, sooner or later, it's going to come crashing down. This is due for some very significant pullback. So if you want to go long, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. You missed a lot of upside already in the past week, and going long would be FOMO here. So if you want to go long, please do that at your own risk. But honestly, if you're a little patient, you should be able to get this back at 80 cents where the gap is. And I think that would be an excellent entry. Massive upside potential in the longer term, and not too much more downside potential. So I don't like the current entry of 161, but I can support going long at 80 cents. And if it pulls back, then you can just average down at these supports that I mentioned before. And if you want to go short, looks like a pretty good play to me. It's a bit risky because this is still squeezing, so there possibly is more upside to go. But as long as you hold through the volatility and you're able to withstand the upside pressure, this should come back down to 80 cents to fill the gap, and that should be a relatively easy 50% downside gain. So I can support going short at the current price, 161 and higher, and again, I would cover at 80 cents where the gap is. So congratulations to everyone who made money in the stock today. Consider taking profits if you're up, not financial advice, and good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is HLBZ. Helbiz. Thanks everyone for watching today. I appreciate you guys. Please, like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on The Smarter Gambling Show. You apes already know, diamond hands to the moon. I'm Ty. This is Smarter Gambling. See ya guys tomorrow. Peace out.